Guess who's back in the house? I hope you guys are having a lovely day. I look a hot mess and I cannot get the lighting right at all, like for some reason. So I just watched the Andre Marhold interview with Jason Lee of Hollywood Unlocked, and I have so many questions. So I watched the interview like midway, and I can't remember how old Andre Marhold is. However, he sounds like a high school student, and that's not a judgment, but I expect someone who is a professional athlete to be a little more polished, a little more poised when they give interviews. And I was really disappointed with the interview. uh, First of all, let me give a shout out to Roberto for sending me the Instagram link to the video. And so, hi Roberto, and hi Nunu T TV. And so, okay, I'm not even gonna look at the comments anymore because you're cracking me up. So I just I want a little bit more polish from Andre for future interviews that he does, because it just seemed very unprofessional. And Jason was actually asking great questions regarding sexuality and how Andre identifies. And I'm still unsure how he identifies in terms of his sexual preference. I guess he's more sexual fluid. Um, and so I'll talk about Jeffree Star later on, but he wanted to talk primarily about Andre's relationship with Bobby Lytes, and that was really confusing. So Andre stated that they are in an open relationship, but the way that he described it, it was not a relationship. And they have a explicit tape that they filmed together and will appear on one of their OnlyFans. I actually didn't even know that either of them had an OnlyFans account. So that was very interesting. And so in terms of Jeffree Star, apparently early on in the interview, Jason asked Andre if Andre thought that Jeffree was racist, and Andre said no. However, later on in the interview, Jason brought up the questions about Jeffree stating that Andre had stolen items from him. And then he stated that it was stereotypical and racist, the comments. So it's a little confusing because early on he said that he wasn't racist. And then later on he stated that he was racist. And so it was, that part of the interview was kind of like odd, based off of his thoughts regarding Jeffree Star and Jeffree Star being racist. Nunu T TV says he's a whole queen trying to play top on the girl's time, but he will do whatever for a little come up or a piece of change. I do believe that. And Rodino17 said, yeah, I saw a trailer for the OnlyFans video. Oh, there's a trailer out? Oh, wow. I didn't know that. So that's interesting. And so Bobby also, Bobby, Jason also asked about Andre's type. And so I don't know if any of you guys know Tokyo. I don't even know Tokyo Styles. And so he brought up in terms of his fluidity, that he likes men, women, and also women who are transgender. And one of his types is Tokyo Styles. And Tokyo is beautiful. Tokyo, if you guys don't know, does a lot of like wig styling for female royalty and entertainment. So Nicki Minaj, I believe he also worked on the hair for, oh my gosh, Megan Thee Stallion for the WAP video. And so Tokyo has just been doing wigs and styling forever. So that's his kind of like ideal transgender woman. In terms of the woman that he had a child with, she is gorgeous. So I would say that his ideal female type is like model-esque. She's just a gorgeous woman. And then his type is kind of confusing with men, from like Jeffree Star to Bobby Lytes. So I would say maybe he prefers more feminine guys of all races. But the thing that was really confusing with the interview is that he almost was like talking in circles with certain comments. But the interview left me with a lot more questions. I wanted to know more specific details about his relationship with Jeffree, and I completely missed the first half of the interview. So I have to rewatch it once it is uploaded to the Fox Soul account. But I had so many questions. Maybe Roberto in the comment section can give me a little more insight. But I am just so curious how they met. Rodino17 says, did they ask about the guy that was also coming for Andre when he was with Jeffree? There was this guy that said Andre was in his DMs. I missed the first part of the interview, so I actually really don't know. But I actually have so many questions about Andre's relationship with Jeffree and how they met. So I hate that I missed it. I planned on watching it, but I missed the first part. But just from the portion of the interview that I saw, it left me more with questions than answers. He said Jeffree flew him out to LA, but he didn't know who Jeffree was. Really? Oh my gosh. Well, that's shocking. So I actually did a video about their relationship, and in that video, I stated that I believed that Andre slid in the DMs. So it sounds like that's what happened. For Andre, no one knew who he was pre-Jeffree Star and their very public relationship, even though it was short-lived. And so, did he receive a come up? Yes. Was it worth it? No. The relationship was so short, he wasn't able to, quote unquote, get the bag. I wonder if the robe that he wore, I wonder if Jeffree purchased that robe, because they have this really interesting photo that they took together in like these like, I think it was like Versace robes. They were like matching robes. But the interview, it stated it was live, but it was not live because there was a lot of editing that was going on. But I'm curious about your thoughts. At the very end of the video, Jason Lee states, I know I've never interviewed anyone in a robe before, and I actually want this robe. And Andre was like, "Oh, but I forgot. I left one part out. That Jason stated, I want the robe at the end of the interview," and Andre states, "Why wait to the end of the video?" And he takes off the robe, and he's completely nude underneath, so that you see everything. I am surprised that they showed that. Andrew says the boy was lying the whole interview. I questioned his, when he was discussing his fluidness, and the person, I want to say their name was EJ. I was really confused about that part of the interview. And I did feel that he was being dishonest in that part of the interview. And there was like a hesitation almost when Jason asked if Andre had been with another male after he had his romantic encounter with EJ. And there was a long pause. And so I felt that he was lying at that point of the interview. But this interview just left me with a lot more questions. And Nunu TTV says he tried to make it seem like he didn't know Jeffree and he only went to LA to get away from the baby mom and get a peace of mind. And Jeffree was his peace of mind. That's really interesting, because they were living together. And that's what the mother of his child stated in an interview, that they were living together at the time, and Andre stated that he needed to go to LA for work, and then she found out about Jeffree when the rest of the world found out. And so that's actually really horrible that he did that to her. But I don't know how they defined their relationship when that all happened. If they were still in a relationship, that part is confusing. But he is, I will almost put him in the category of Amber Rose, when Amber Rose was dating Kanye, even though they were dating for a longer period of time. Amber Rose was more intriguing when she was silent. And when she started doing interviews, that's when like the world was like, "Oh, we don't really know about you." And so I think it would have been smarter for him to just remain silent for a longer period of time and not give interviews to kind of like build up this suspense. And maybe if he did not start dating Bobby Lytes, because I was talking to Roberto, and just to go from like a Jeffree Star to a Bobby Lytes, even though like I think Bobby Lytes is lovely, but it's kind of like you're stepping down. Again, no shade to Bobby Lytes, but I would have tried to kind of like date someone who was in the same caliber as Jeffree Star, even though like Jeffree Star is an A-lister, but I would have tried to date in the same range as Jeffree Star. Andrew says he said they weren't living together though. Oh, he said she lives in a big 5-bedroom house with her friends. Oh, I would have moved in with her then. And I actually, even though like I wasn't impressed with the interview. I want to see a little bit more. I'm intrigued with kind of like the little tidbits that I did see. But Jason asked if Andre would be willing to go on Love and Hip Hop Miami. I would love to actually see him on. I don't watch Love and Hip Hop the franchise, but I would watch Miami if there was a storyline with Bobby Lytes, Andre, and the mother of his child, of Andre's child. I would tune in. I don't even know what channel it comes on. I would find out what channel it comes on. I would pay for it because I would watch that because it's just so interesting. And I would love to see all of the drama and the messiness that would be in that storyline. So I would be here for it. So whoever are the producers for Love and Hip Hop Miami, please get that for next season. I don't even know if they're like taping now, but I would love to see that because that would be interesting. But I do think that Andre represents a lot of people in the world right now who are sexually fluid. I don't think he really kind of like described. I don't kind of buy that he's fluid. I think he leans more in a certain direction, but he really does represent people who are sexually fluid, people who they don't see themselves as bisexual. I guess the term more, I guess, is pansexual, but people who can date a man one day, date a woman one day, and then be in a polyamorous relationship with a man and a woman the next day. And so I would love to see that storyline explored on Love and Hip Hop, because I think in the Black community, there tends to be these unspoken things. Sexuality is very taboo, and we don't talk about it enough in the Black community. And that really leads to a lot of people being in a mental closet that they can't escape because they are afraid of what people in the community, people in their family, people in their circle of friends would think about them, because we don't talk about it enough. And it would be really interesting to kind of like see that dynamic on camera and the conversations that it would create in the Black community, on social media, in households, especially if it would happen now, like if it like aired February, March, while we're still in quarantine, where when people are forced to be home. I would love that. Berto says, I got you on Bluetooth speaker, so I hear everything you say. Okay. Rodino says, thank you. I don't buy that he's fluid either, but he's interesting though. I wish so too, Roberto, but you live too far away. So yeah, so I would love that storyline. So I hope that it happens. Even if it doesn't happen on that particular show, which it would make more sense because Bobby Lytes is a regular castmate of that show. But it could also fit in other reality shows as well. And so I hope that we see that. And there is still more mystery to him. Even though I wasn't impressed, there's still this mystery because there's this kind of like um, there's this kind of like boyishness to him that is a little intriguing. And so, but I would love to see an arc where we see a more polished, more sophisticated side of him. I would really love that. And so, hi Aaron. I hope that you're having a lovely day. The the mystery is called crystal meth. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, there is a. I feel that there's a mystery that's there, um, especially anytime that you have an athlete, um, because and he's an athlete that he played overseas, and so it's something about the a young athlete um, who gets to see the world through a very particular lens that makes him mysterious to me. So, to everyone on the live, thank you for stopping by. Thanks for entertaining me, especially new TTV. You are hilarious. And thank you to Roberto for reminding me to watch this. But I cannot wait for the full interview so I can watch it. He put down the basketball. He put down the basketball to pick up Jeffree and Bobby. Oh, I'm not going to say that one. Andrew says, I'm inclined to believe his mom was happy because she knew he was gay because it was screaming through the TV. I was turned off, though. I don't like to see men in their 30s. Is he in his 30s? Is he really in his 30s? I thought he's in his 20s. He said in the interview that he looks up to the city girls. Maybe he looks up to the city girls for their business acumen. He's 34. Wow. Oh wow. Okay, that changes a few things for me. I thought he was actually in his 20s based off of how he was conducting himself in the interview. Wow. Okay. So, Andre Marhold, I need for you to, before you do another interview, to really think about the way that you present yourself to the world because you read significantly younger and media representation is so important, especially as an athlete. Is he actually going to continue playing basketball? I don't know if that came up during the interview. But if he continues to play in the foreign league, you really need to work on your interview skills because that was not it at all. The way he was talking with his hands. I talk with my hands too. I'm only talking with my hands because like when I lift them higher, the light changes. And so this lighting just looks horrible right now. I have literally 3 lights on me and it looks like I'm in complete darkness. But that was horrible. Oh my gosh. You know, I always think that athletes have to go through some type of interview training school as a part of their like workout routines to know how to handle the media. And he definitely needs some type of like PR training. Yeah, that was horrible. Oh my gosh. That was absolutely horrible. And I can I don't know. That makes me think. I don't know how old Jeffree Star is, but I'm curious about their conversations that they would have together. Like, what would they talk about? Um, in that previous video about their relationship, I stated that I believe that Jeffree started dating him to help with his sales for his orgy palette, because the orgy palette was the first Jeffree Star palette that like tanked, that it was not selling, and I felt that he needed to have like some type of controversy that was positive, that would boost sales. And I do believe that because of the relationship and all of the photos that came out of it, all of the stories that came out of it, that people were talking about Jeffree again, and it helped his sales. But I just can't imagine what they would communicate about. Ain't no going back for him, no. Oh, trust me, they was doing much talking. Yeah, like I don't know. This just all sounds bizarre now. Like, knowing his age, this all sounds bizarre. This is not how a 30-year-old should conduct themselves. Like, thinking back, like the whole robe taking off on camera. I don't know. I mean, it shows that he does look up to the city girls. Not that the city girls would do anything like that, but it's a stunt to further put yourself out there. And so, but I still want to see this on Love and Hip Hop. Like, this would probably be a worse train wreck on Love and Hip Hop. Jeffree used him for the Jeffree used him for sexual favors and a little publicity, found out he was broke and sent him packing. I don't know if Jeffree cares about his financial status. Jeffree just bought like a ranch in Wyoming. No, was it Wyoming or Utah? One of those places. He just bought. Jeffree does not need a man that has money. I believe Jeffree's previous boyfriend was also in the same tax bracket as Andre, and that worked. I think they were together for like a very long time. And so I think Jeffree is the type of person that he's willing to spend money on someone that he cares for. So I don't think that matters. I couldn't believe he was childish enough to talk about the size of his teammates. Oh, I missed that part. Oh, I really have to watch this because I did not. Montana. Oh, Montana. Thanks, Roberto. Jeffree said he didn't even have a bank account. Is that possible? That can't be possible. Like, what do you do with your checks? I honestly don't know who Jeffree Star is. Jeffree Star was famous from MySpace for doing things that were seen as controversial. And gosh, like this was like 2004, 2005 when MySpace was big, and Jeffree was like all of 14, 15. He was he had this like punk rock pink hair, this very shocking 90s style drag makeup. And he basically took that and became a beauty influencer. Check cashing centers, they charge extra. Really, I wouldn't want to walk around like, I assume if you are a basketball player for a foreign team that you would have a checking account, especially in Europe. Like, I don't know what country he played in, but I wouldn't feel comfortable walking around with a significant amount of money in Europe. some countries in Europe are known for pickpocketers, and so you're really taking a risk. So I think Jeffree made that up, him not having a bank account, because that just doesn't sound right at all. And then once he came back with your child, how do you provide for your child? So I don't know if that he didn't have check. That's oh my gosh. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. He don't play basketball. That was in 2013. Oh my goodness. Nunu, are you related to him? Because you know a lot of information. I don't think he played basketball in a while. 34, that's almost retirement age. Yes. Wow, that's crazy. I can believe that someone who's younger in the foreign leagues doesn't have a bank account just because, like, they're probably by themselves. He probably lived somewhere very cheap. I could see that. Like, if this was like when he was significantly younger, especially if it was 2013, 7 years ago. So yeah, that is insane. Oh, thanks, the bombshell. So that's interesting. Oh my gosh, that is interesting. This story is a 3D puzzle that you keep finding a new piece. This is interesting. This all makes me even more intrigued. You not getting what type of person you're dealing with. Maybe you need to watch the whole. I need to watch the whole interview. Yes, I need to watch the whole interview. But it's not uploaded to Fox Soul, so I have to wait. I have to wait for Nunu TV. I am going to watch it with you through like some type of live, so you can give me the breakdown. Jason was looking when that it was Jason. Andrew says Jason was looking when that robe came off. That's why he wanted them to cut the cameras. He was looking. Jason is another video. So Jason has said on a few times that he has a husband and a boyfriend, yet on Hollywood Unlocked, he is always like undressing celebrities. You don't have to wait. Go to oh, I didn't know that. You don't have to wait. You can go to Fox Soul and press rewind to the app, because I don't have the app, but I actually will download the app like right when I'm done with this. Jason was acting like a oh my god. Nunu, I am going to let you okay, Nunu, I'm going to let you use your imagination, but I do think that Jason prefers that position, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so anyone else who did not see the interview, apparently you can go to Fox Soul Live and press on YouTube and press rewind. So I'm definitely going to do that. Jason always, the bombshell says Jason always on the prowl. He is. It's very strange. If you have a husband and a boyfriend, why would you always be on the prowl? I just did that. Sorry. I saw prowl and I did that. Jason was inappropriate, asking him questions about his sexual relationships. Andrew, no, I think that some questions were valid. Like some of them were kind of like, you're being a little too intrusive. But I mean, we did get to learn more about him. And so, and that's what I expect from Jason Lee. Hollywood Unlocked actually is a lot more raunchier than how he was with Andre for this particular interview. And so I've seen him actually ask more like private questions. but it gives us a little more insight into who Andre is. So I honestly didn't mind that. But I'm definitely going to like rewatch this from the beginning so I can unearth these things that happened during the interview. All right, guys. Thanks for being on this live with me. I am going to watch this video. And New TTV, you were hilarious. Thank you all for watching and have a lovely day. Until next time, besos. Mwah.